Hello, Thunder Wizards. All right, so I want to revisit the topic of positive affirmations. If you're new to this channel, you're going to hear some things that you've probably never heard before. And the reason for that is because you're simply not being given all of the information that is necessary in order to manifest your reality. So let me just get to the point here before we go any further. Positive affirmations are actually getting in your way. They are not helping you. In fact, you are blocking yourself off from your manifestations if you're using positive affirmations. I know what I'm saying sounds like total blasphemy. It's against everything you've ever learned in any of your law of attraction seminars. They tell you that positive affirmations are important. So first, let's go over the theory, right? The theory is that positive affirmations are ways that you can put into your subconscious mind. Now, listen to the words I'm using very carefully. These are things that you can put into your subconscious mind in order to program your reality. And the idea is that if you are putting positive affirmations into your subconscious mind, then this is vibrating out, and then the universe will bring those things to you that are on the same vibrational wavelength. Okay? Now, here's where you have been taught something that is incorrect. You have been taught that there is the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And you've been taught that all you have to do is to program the subconscious mind to project certain things, and those things will come to pass. Like many things in the world, this is only partially correct. And unfortunately, if you only have partial truth in this understanding of manifestation, you will have zero results. So if you're watching me and you have used positive affirmations successfully every single time, then there's nothing for you to learn from me. You don't need to be watching me. You can go off and continue to affirm, use positive affirmations to create your life. And if that works for you, my hair is off to you. If you are watching this, it's probably because you have struggled with your ability to manifest your success, your reality. And it is possible that you have used positive affirmations and they have not lived up to the hype. Some of you may have had zero results, and there are people who use positive affirmations and they end up having even worse results. This doesn't seem to make sense. Why is this? Well, I'm going to explain to you exactly how this works. I'm going to explain to you why positive affirmations work for some people, why for others they have mixed results, and why for some people they have zero or they have even worse results after trying to use positive affirmations. It can be very confusing. If you go online and you type in why positive affirmations don't work and what to do to make them work, people will give you all kinds of seemingly deep explanations, but when you really listen to them, they're not saying anything. They'll talk about emotions and they'll talk about making sure that you're feeling positive when you have the positive affirmations. They may talk about how the vibration of your, they come up with all these seemingly very scientific sounding words. But when you really, I'm asking you, when you really think about it, does any of it make sense? I mean, do you really understand what they're saying? And then you feel guilty because, well, I should be able to just think these positive things and these things should be happening for me and they don't. And so you feel guilty and you feel bad and you don't want to look bad. And so you convince yourself that it's working or that you believe in it or that you'll keep trying it or you tell other people about it. Maybe you're somebody who's started a blog. Maybe you're a life coach and you're teaching the law of attraction as a life coach. And so you feel this need to bolster what you've been taught. And so you do these blogs about why positive affirmations don't work sometimes and what you can do to fix them. But let me explain to you exactly the science behind this and why positive affirmations don't work. And first, we need to again look at what you have been taught, which is only partially correct, which is you have been taught that you have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. But you don't have just a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. You have three minds. You have a conscious mind, a subconscious mind, and an unconscious mind. When you look at a graph, if I were to show you a graph, the conscious mind would be up here, probably between 5-6%. The subconscious mind would be down there the same, maybe 10%. The rest of the 80-85% of your mind is your unconscious. It's important that we make this distinction. 99% of the time when people use the word subconscious mind, they really mean unconscious. They don't know it. Unconscious means you are unaware. Subconscious is different. The subconscious mind is what you use to project your thoughts into reality. But the subconscious mind is something that you have conscious access to. Your phone number, your social security number, your driver's license. These are things you have conscious access to. You're not walking around trying to memorize your birthday all the time, but somebody asks you, what's your birthday? You know, right? Boom, you can say it immediately with no hesitation. It's because you reach into your subconscious mind, you pull that information out, and you give it to somebody. When you intend, when you are doing your meditations, when you are doing your intentions, your subconscious mind is a projector. And the third eye is the lens. And you project out your third eye, your intentions. Now, if what you were told is true, that there is just the conscious and the subconscious, then it would work every time. Because all you would have to do is put some positive affirmation in your mind, which would be putting it into your subconscious mind. And then it would broadcast this out onto the screen of the universe around you, and you would have what you intended. Yet that is not the case. The reason for that is you have the unconscious mind, that 90% of your mind that you are unaware of has been programmed. It has been programmed with beliefs. It has been programmed with your experience, and it's been programmed by your actions. Actions include beliefs. Beliefs are actions. And you've programmed this, and it has been programmed for you. And it doesn't matter what you consciously think. This is why positive affirmations are meaningless. Because if you have an unconscious program that says that you're not supposed to be rich, or that money is bad, or you fill in the blank, whatever it is. If you have any kind of unconscious programming that is working against your success, it doesn't matter what you consciously project. Because your conscious mind is not the creator of your universe. I want you to listen to me very carefully. Your conscious mind is not the creator of your universe. Your conscious mind is the observer. The creator of your universe is not your subconscious mind. Let me say it again. The creator of your universe is not your subconscious mind. The creator of your universe is your unconscious mind, and it is far more powerful than you are. This is why positive affirmations won't work. Unless your positive affirmations are in alignment with your unconscious programming. So I said earlier, I tell you why positive affirmations work in certain cases. That's when somebody takes a positive affirmation, but their unconscious mind is already programmed in that way. So if they've been programmed to believe that they are successful, that they are beautiful, that they are whatever it is, and they tell themselves, I am successful, I want more money. If you have the unconscious programming that money is good, that you deserve money, then the unconscious mind will go, oh, okay, and it will go create that for you. But if you have that ability, it's pretty likely you're not going to be putting your time into listening to people talk about how to use positive affirmations to be successful. The people who are watching videos about how to use positive affirmations are people who want more success and they're struggling. And you see, there are people out there in this world that do this, that they just decide, you know what, I want that, and they go get it. They don't think twice about it. Positive affirmations work when they have the ability to motivate you to take action, especially taking bold action. But the truth of the matter is, the people use positive affirmations so they don't have to take action. They're afraid to take action. They're afraid to lose money. They're afraid to fail. And so they want positive affirmations to magically make it happen for them, which is what you've been taught. This is the cotton candy you have been given by the law of attraction. Cotton candy is just have positive feelings and sit on the edge of your bed and say positive things and say that you're going to be a millionaire. And as long as you do that, and if you have happy feelings associated with it, then that will come to you. It's the law. You won't be able to resist it. It'll come to you. That's just not the case for most people. It just doesn't work like that. And so we have to understand that the subconscious mind is the projector. But the subconscious mind only can project what is being put into it. So you do not have the ability to 24 hours a day fill your subconscious mind with an intention. You don't have the ability. You will fall asleep. You will have to go to the bathroom. You will have to eat food. You will have to do things that take your conscious attention. And remember, the conscious mind, the part of you that wants the money, that wants the success, is an observer. It doesn't have the ability to create. And it doesn't have the authority to countermand the negative the negative unconscious programs in your unconscious mind. It doesn't have the authority. So you can't just simply decide, you know what, I don't want to think that way anymore. Two reasons for that. The first reason is you don't know what's in your unconscious. That's why they call it the unconscious. If you knew what was in your unconscious, then you would be one step further. But even if you knew what your unconscious programming was, that wouldn't change it either. Because this is where psychotherapy has its limitations. Psychotherapy many times gives away the feeling that if we can just uncover what is in the unconscious mind, then we will know why we do the things that we do and we'll be able to change them. But the reality is that even if you are able to become aware of how you've been programmed, you still, most of the time, will not be able to change those unconscious programs. You'll just watch yourself continue to do the same things over and over again, even knowing that you can't. It's like an addict or an alcoholic. You know, they know, I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to drink. I just can't drink any more alcohol. I'm not going to drink. They can't stop themselves. It's because their programming in their unconscious mind is so powerful. So what we need to do is we need to hack into the unconscious mind. And there are things that we can do to hack into the unconscious mind. And I do teach those things. You can go to courses.thunderwizard.com to see some of the things that I teach. Also, if you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit the bell button. But if you want a program that will work, if you diligently practice it, go to neo.thunderwizard.com. There are 4 things that you need to do in order to shift the reality. So you hear me saying a lot of things that sound very negative. You can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. Because what I want you to get in your head is that intellectualizing this process is not going to work. It's like if you go to a gym and you decide that you want to be Mr. Olympia, you can sit around in front of the mirror and tell yourself all day long that you have the greatest physique in the world and you are going to be the next Mr. Olympia, and nothing will happen. because that is only designed to do one thing, to motivate you to go that extra step in what? Taking action in the gym. When you're in the gym and you can only do 10 reps, you need that positive affirmation to push you to get that 11th rep in there. This is what positive affirmations are for. If you don't have a clear path of action, and if you are not taking that action, then positive affirmations are meaningless. Here's the good news. You don't even need to feel positive. You can be full of fear. You can be full of doubt. You can be full of the worst feelings that you can imagine. Your feelings do not have the power to stop you from taking action. But when you are taught, this is the danger with much of the law of attraction and positive affirmations. When you are taught that the way to change your reality is to change your feelings and to change your intentions, then what happens is people stop taking action. And they wait. One of the biggest excuses I hear is that people will say, I really want to take one of your courses, but I have to wait for the money. I really want to start my own business, but I have to wait for the money. So I'm going to keep doing this job I can't stand until I have enough money. In my experience, that never works. What works is you do it. You just jump off the cliff and you do it. Like my ancestors say, those who die in battle go to Valhalla. Not those who feel powerful or who are brave or who are strong. Those who die in battle, which means those who take action against all odds. They're willing to die for what they want, regardless of how frightening it is. Those are the people that succeed. Okay? So, I'll take some questions here in a moment, but again, it's important you understand there are three minds. Conscious mind, the unconscious mind, and the subconscious mind. And whatever the unconscious mind believes the most, that is what's being put in your subconscious projector. I'm talking about this because I got a message or an email from somebody who didn't hear what I said fully, and that's not their fault. They've been programmed to hear things a certain way. What they heard me say was that positive affirmations only work when you're asleep. I didn't say that. I'm saying that positive affirmations don't work unless your unconscious mind is aligned with your positive affirmation. What I did say was that you can sit on the edge of your bed and do positive affirmations for 8 hours a day. Now that would be pretty impressive. If you had the ability to sit for 8 hours a day and stay focused and have a positive feeling, listen, if you can pull that off, my hat's off to you, go for it. But what I'm here to tell you is that if all of those positive affirmations and all of those feelings, positive or otherwise, are not in alignment with whatever programming you have in your unconscious, the moment you stop, your unconscious mind will then put all of that negative programming back into your subconscious mind. When you go to sleep, your unconscious mind goes back and starts doing its thing. In fact, it's doing it the whole time. You're having positive affirmations saying, I'm happy, I'm successful, but if underneath it, your unconscious mind is telling you you're miserable and you're poor, those two, guess which one is going to win? The unconscious one will win. Doesn't matter what you tell yourself. So you have to find the hacks. And we've taught about one, which is you go to courses.thunderwizard.com and get an astrological reading from me. I can tell you how to hack into your unconscious and what you can do. Instead of positive affirmations, you can use a mantra to hack into it. And that will change your unconscious programming. And the other way is learning to understand how the matrix works, how the universe works, and to understand that you can feel whatever it is, and your unconscious mind can have whatever negative programming it has. But the universe responds to certain commands. And if you understand what those commands are, then you can be full of fear, full of doubt, feel totally worthless and unworthy. But if you flip those switches in the right way, the universe will give you success, happiness, and then you will really have to deal with it. You know what they say, careful what you wish for, right? Because then you will see, once you get this whole time you're saying to yourself, if I just had enough money and if I just had this, I would be happy. And then when you get it, you realize how uncomfortable it makes you because you're programmed to not want it. And then you really have to face how you have manifested your reality, whatever it is. Okay? So I'm happy to keep talking about this subject, and I'm happy to take some questions. Let's take a look and see here. If you're new to the channel, this is a question and answer. So this isn't your free-for-all, just to throw out your opinion, argue with me, or support me. I don't care. This is about question and answer. If you have a question, you write the word question, and then write your question succinctly and well thought out, and I will do my best to answer it. So let's take a look and see if there are any questions here. All right. No questions. All right. So let's go a little bit further. Let's see. Did I get a question? No. So read tomorrow. If you have a question, please write the word question, because if you can see above you, there's a bunch of people just throwing their opinions out and writing sentences, and I have to scroll through all of them and find the people who have the question. So read tomorrow. I can see here you have a question, so I'll do my best to answer it. Do you have a course that helps to open the second eye? You mean the third eye? So you have an assumption there. You heard me, if you got on early, you heard me talk about how the subconscious mind projects through your third eye your reality. So you have an assumption that you've been taught. It's not your fault. This is what you've been taught. You've been taught that you have to open your third eye. Your third eye is already open. Okay, so you know this idea that if you open your third eye, you'll see into the other realms. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But there are people who see into the other realms who are not conscious and not aware. Your third eye will, even if you opened it, that in and of itself isn't going to give you the ability to create your reality. Okay? So to answer your question, everything I teach will open your third eye. Everything that I teach will open your third eye. You don't need to take a course about opening your third eye. Okay? Okay, Adam Khan, you're new to the channel. Again, everybody, if you want me to answer a question, please write the word question and then ask me a question. It helps if you can ask me about what I've been talking about and what I teach. So you'll get more from me if you focus on the topic. You ask me here, Adam Khan, I feel I am trapped between Boaz and Jachin. Any tips to break free? I have no idea what that means. What makes you think I know what Boaz and Jachin are? In any case, don't try and explain it to me because it's not something I teach. It's probably something I would think is a waste of time. So ask me, see, here's another thing that will be helpful for everybody. If you can ask me questions based on your emotional experience, I feel this way, I want this. If you can talk to me in those terms, I can help you the most. Okay? Throwing out spiritual terms usually, doesn't mean a whole lot to me. Okay? All right, so I don't see any more questions at the moment, so we'll keep working on things here. All right, so let's talk about vibrations for a moment. So you have been taught that positive feelings create a positive vibration, and those positive vibrations go out into the world, and those things that are of those same vibrations will be magnetically attracted to you. Think about that. That is a very attractive philosophy. This is why the law of attraction is so popular. And this is why people go and spend hundreds or thousands of dollars to go on cruises with Zohar, the alien, or somebody who channels the beings known as Zohar or whatever. You know who I'm talking about. And people spend thousands of dollars for that. And that is a very popular way to make money. If I wanted to be a billionaire, I would be channeling an alien right now. But my job is to tell you the truth and to give you things that actually will help you. Vibrations. The universe does respond to vibrations. So I'm going to tell you what the most powerful vibrations are. They are not your thoughts. Sorry. They are not your feelings. Sorry. They are not your intentions. I'm very sorry. The most powerful vibrations in the universe that the universe responds to are your actions. Let me explain that for you. I've used this example before, but I'll use it again. There's a girl that you are really attracted to. She's on the other side of the room. She's surrounded by other popular girls. You're not a popular guy. And you're sitting there. You sitting there saying to yourself, I'm really hot and I'm really sexy. She should come over to me. Probably not going to work. So the only thing that is going to work is if you get up off your ass, walk across the room, and ask her out. Now, she may say yes, she may say no. But she's a human being. She is not programmed to meet your highest awareness or to help you achieve your highest success. She's programmed to have her own life. So she may say yes, she may say no. But I will tell you this, if you don't ask her out, you won't go out on a date with her. Because what gets her to respond to you are the vibrations of you going and asking her out on a date. It's risky and it's a one-time thing. She can either say yes or she can say no, and that will usually be the end of it. If she says no, you'll probably never get a date with her. Now, the universe is also a feminine entity. And so the universe responds to your actions. Now, here's where positive affirmations and intentions and visualizations come into handy. If you imagine yourself like an athlete who is like an Olympic athlete, let's say an Olympic skier, who's going to do the slalom, the giant slalom, right? Takes a lot of skill and a lot of training. Before they take their run, many of them, you'll see them closing their eyes and you'll see them doing this because in their mind, they're going over the course and imagining themselves do the course and doing it perfectly and hitting it just right and doing all that. And they know that they're training their nervous system and their muscles to do just that when they get to that situation. That's helpful for them. But then they actually have to go and do the race. Now, if you and I go up there and we do the same thing and we imagine ourselves, winning the giant slalom in the Olympics, that visualization isn't going to get us anywhere because we don't have the training and our muscles and our nerves are not prepared for that through practice. The universe responds to your actions in this way. When you do sit on the edge of your bed and you say, I want to start my own business and I want to be rich and I want to be powerful and I want to be successful. When you do that, that is part of the process. It's designed to get you motivated to then go take action. Just like the Olympic skier. They go through the process in their mind. They imagine themselves doing it. They put all kinds of feelings and emotions towards winning. They imagine themselves winning and winning the gold medal. That is designed to get them motivated so that they can then go and perform at their best. Now, if you have a business that you want to start and you don't have the money, or whatever the block is, you don't have the money, you're not good enough, you don't have enough experience, whatever the excuse is for not doing it. What you don't know right now is that the universe already knows what you want. Not just what you think you want, The universe knows what you want. So what happens is when you become able to acknowledge within yourself what you truly desire, not what you think you desire, but what you truly desire, that vibration is already programmed into the universe. And when you take action towards that, the universe then takes that as a command. When you sit on the edge of your bed and you imagine having the money, having the job, having the business, the universe goes, oh, good, they're getting themselves prepared to take action. And it does nothing. You, if you've been taught that that's what you're supposed to do, you start saying, well, why isn't it happening yet? Why doesn't the universe give me what I want? Because the universe takes action to be the command that you want something. Just like the girl that's sitting on the other side of the room, when maybe she's waiting for you to ask her out. She sees you on the other side of the room and she wants to go out on a date with you, but she doesn't know you're sitting there on the other side of the room thinking about her, how pretty she is and how you want to take her out. She doesn't know that. But when you walk across the room and ask her, then she responds. This is how the universe works. So this is why positive affirmations are virtually meaningless. Because people are using positive affirmations as some kind of, magic tool that's going to make it happen. And that's not where the magic is. Now, let me tell you something else about how important action is. I've been telling you that your unconscious mind has been programmed, positively or negatively, based on past lives, based on how you were raised and all your experiences in life and the beliefs that you've chosen to adopt, your experience based on your actions. So your unconscious mind has been programmed already. And I've been telling you that you cannot choose to override that programming. It will override your conscious choice every time. Every time. But there is one thing that will slowly change your unconscious programming. And that is taking action contrary to your feelings. When you're full of fear and you have been told that you can't do this, or you don't believe you can do it, you don't believe you deserve it, whatever feelings are going on, the action itself changes your unconscious programming. Now, I won't lie to you, it will take time. Again, using the example of somebody wanting to become Mr. Olympia. Going to the gym once is not going to turn you into Mr. Olympia. You're going to have to go to the gym every day, 5 days a week, for X amount of years, and then you're going to have to get enough rest, and then you're going to have to eat the right foods, you're going to have to learn the right technique, then you're going to have to start employing your positive affirmations. I do perfect technique, I'm Mr. Olympia, and you take those and put it into your actions. That the universe takes as a command. Listen to what Arnold Schwarzenegger says. He's got he's got a motivational speech on there, and he talks about that, and he talks about failure, and he talks about how valuable it is to fail, and he talks about how every rep that he did, he would push himself and do one more rep because every rep he did brought him one repetition closer to being Mr. Olympia. And he doesn't say it out loud, but what he's saying is that action is what changes everything, not your beliefs and not your feelings. Okay? So actions will go and reprogram your unconscious mind over time. Because the unconscious mind is a muscle, and actions are flexing muscles. And every time you take an action towards what you want, you create a new unconscious. Now, the opposite is also true. If you take action against what you want, meaning if you have feelings like fear and doubt and guilt and all kinds of other things that prevent you from taking action, and you choose to sit on your ass and eat Cheetos and watch YouTube instead of going out and doing what you want to do, that is an action. And that programs your unconscious mind as well. So it's actions that program your unconscious mind more than anything. And it doesn't mean you won't have challenges. In fact, you probably will. Like I said earlier, careful what you wish for. Because once you get it, you're going to find out how uncomfortable it makes you. Well, you'll find out how much unconscious programming you have that's blocking you. Because if you get what you want and it's great and it's easy and you have no problems, then lucky you. You don't have a lot of negative programming in that area. But if you're like most of us who focus on this and want to learn this, you're going to take these actions regardless of your feelings, and you're going to start to see results. And then what's going to happen is all kinds of horrific feelings are going to come up. And if you take action on those feelings, then you will be programming into your unconscious mind, see, I can't do it. All right, so let's see if we have any questions here, and I'll be happy to answer them. All right, so. Okay, so Milan Lazarevich, welcome to the channel. Please write the word question so I know you're asking a question. And again, please try to focus on what I'm talking about. You'll get likely a better answer from me. So you asked me, what does water fast do for you spiritually? I don't teach that. So I can't teach something I don't have any practice in. So I don't know anything about water fasts. Okay, Autumn Khan, question. How do we get courage to take action? All right, so let's stop right there. You listen to that question again, and then I'm going to share with you what your assumption is. Your question is, how do we get courage to take action? What is in that question is that you have a belief, an assumption. Your assumption is that you need to have the feeling in order to take action. You are of the belief, because you've been taught this. It's not your fault. You've been taught to believe that your feeling must resonate with the action. This is why the law of attraction is so damaging, because it's telling you your feelings, you have to have the right feeling in order to get the positive thing to come to you. And I'm telling you, that is the least important thing. The most important thing is to know what you want and then go take action on it regardless of your feelings. The universe is not responding to your feelings, it's responding to your actions. So to answer your question, first off, you don't need the courage. You don't have to build up enough courage. I want you to get used to taking action when it is scary as hell. Those who die in battle go to Valhalla. Those who, as fearful as ever, go out and fight for what they want, knowing they might die. You have to be willing to live in that fear, but you have to be taking action. You are of the belief that your feelings will dictate your actions. And if that's the case, you will always be manipulated and controlled by your own feelings and by everybody else. The way to overcome all obstacles is to learn how to take action regardless of how you feel. How do we get to the courage to take action? I feel I can motivate myself more, but I feel lazy and overwhelmed sometimes. All right, so stop trying to motivate yourself. It's obviously not working. You are proving my point, my friend. Your feelings aren't going to achieve your results for you. And I'm going to share something with you. I've been talking a lot about the unconscious mind. So here's the thing about the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind doesn't show up and say, hey, listen, if you actually start taking action on your desires, then you're going to be breaking through the limitations I'm trying to impose upon you, and I don't want you to do that. So I'm telling you not to do. It's not going to tell you what's up. It's going to use whatever is going to most successfully prevent you from breaking the rules. So the rules in your unconscious mind are whatever limitations you have. And when you start breaking those limitations, your unconscious mind tries to stop you in the most effective way. Feeling lazy is one of those ways. When you feel lazy, like, look, I did not want to do this video today. I've got all kinds of things going on in my life. I won't get into it. Big, huge changes that are scaring the crap out of me. I'm taking huge risks, risks I've never taken in my entire life. I've got a headache. I want to sit in bed and watch whatever that thing is. Game of Thrones. That's what I want to do. I feel lazy. I feel tired. But I know that to have the life that I want to have, I have to take opposite action. And I come here and I do this. I'll tell you what my mindset was before I came here. I talk a lot about the unconscious mind, and I talk a lot about the law of attraction and how it doesn't work and how it's inaccurate. And my head the whole time was telling me, listen, they don't want to hear that. They've already heard you say that. People they're going to judge you. I go through all the same stuff you guys do. If there is a difference, it's that I take action regardless of how I feel. And in those instances, when I take action regardless of how I feel, that's when I'm rewarded with the most success, which is why I'm here. This is why I'm doing this video right now. So get over the idea that you need to motivate yourself. Get over the idea that you need to feel any certain way. Feeling lazy is a feeling. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a feeling. So start acting, take action. I mean, when I go to the gym, there's lots of times I'm really tired and I don't want to go to the gym, but I go anyway. Just do it anyway. Feeling overwhelmed is just a feeling. And again, it's your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind has wrong programming. It thinks it's trying to protect you. It's not. It's actually working against you, but it doesn't know that. You owe it to your unconscious mind. If you want to change those lazy feelings, then you have to start acting. Go act, regardless of how you feel. All right, Becky Blackburn question. Are setting intentions and saying positive affirmations the same thing? Yes. Yeah, they're in the same ballpark. There's nothing wrong with them. Setting an intention is good, but remember, if you think of the word intention, intention assumes that you're going to act on it. Because in order to, let's say you're driving down the street and you're going to turn right at the stoplight, that is your intention. My intention is when I get to the stoplight, I'm going to turn right. Turning right is an action. But if your intention is to turn right and you just sit there and hope the car will turn, it's not going to turn. You got to turn the wheel. So intentions have within them, all that's happening is you're getting specific about what actions you're going to take. So when somebody talks about setting their intentions in their mind, this is all intellectual nonsense. You can't do anything with it. Let me tell you something else about the universe. The universe and your life in the universe is an action. It is not a thought. Being here is an action. And think about it. What you do, you're doing or not doing something all the time. Everything is an action. So I love the word intention as long as your intention is, I intend to live in that house. I intend to marry that woman. I intend to whatever it is that you want to do. I want to be Mr. Olympia. And now your intention has focused which direction you're going to take action in. That's all it is. Saying positive affirmations, again, so they're in the same ballpark, but positive affirmations really are just a waste of energy. Because unless those positive affirmations are fueling you to take action, you're just spinning your wheels. You can sit in your car, and if it's in park, you can put your foot on the gas all you want, and all that happens is the engine is revving. And that's all that's happening when you're doing positive affirmations. You're revving the engine. If you're revving the engine because you're warming it up because you're about to put it in gear and go, that's another thing. Ricardo Stone, please write the word question so I know you're asking a question. And how about when you're trying but still the universe seems not to correspond? Well, there's all kinds of things that could be happening there. That is a great question. When you're trying, first off, I don't know what that means, trying. When if you're either doing it or you're not doing it, as Yoda said. Trying doesn't mean anything. So I don't know by trying. Trying I think, sounds a lot like what the other person was saying, where they feel lazy and they feel overwhelmed. So I don't know what that means, trying and it doesn't work. But the part about the universe not corresponding. So listen to what I'm going to tell you. First, understand that the universe has already been programmed and knows what you truly want. It is a living being, it is an organism, and it is made up of life force energy, and it is conscious, and it knows what you truly want in your soul. You may not know what you truly want. You may be mistaken. For instance, one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they think that they need to win the lottery. So you'll go to lots of law of attraction intention gatherings and groups, and people will talk about, my intention is I'm going to win the lottery. Right? It's a clear intention, right? It's a clear desire. But there's an assumption in there that money is what's going to make them happy. It's not. What that person is saying, the person who says that if they have a lot of money, then they'll be able to do what they want, that person has the assumption that the universe is not going to give them the resources to achieve their desires. And so they need to go get the money. And then once they have the money, then they can go do what they want. The money is not what they want. What they want is what they think the money's going to get them. And so instead of focusing on the things that you don't want, focus on the things that you do want. Now, here's another problem that people run into when it comes to knowing what they want. We are all, when we come here, we incarnate so that we can learn one major lesson. And that lesson is to know the difference between what other people want for us and what we truly want for ourselves. And so you will, throughout your life, you will continuously be thrust with this question of, should I go do the thing that I want, or should I do the thing that my parents, my wife, society, church, my friends, what do other people, what will make me a good person? In fact, people go out of their way, and this is something that I did. I unconsciously, for much of my adult life, kept myself poor. Even though consciously I wanted money, I kept myself poor because I had this unconscious belief that if I was successful, it would hurt my mother. And I won't get into all this is irrational stuff that the unconscious mind does. Every one of us has these irrational beliefs in our unconscious. That's what stops us. That's why you're trying to, whatever it is you're trying to do, assuming it's in line with what you want. You're trying to do it, as you say, but the universe isn't responding. Actually, what's happening is that you are continuously sabotaging it and not realizing it. Carl Jung said that you must make what is unconscious conscious, otherwise your unconscious mind will happen to you and you will think it is fate. So there's a lot of things you need to change about your understanding between yourself and the universe. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, there is a book which I recommend, which I wrote. You would go up here to courses.thunderwizard.com. You can find where my books are. It's a cheap book. It won't cost you a lot. And it's The Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life. In that book, I tell you, I explain all of this to you so that you can figure out what it is that you want. The most important thing that you need to do, by you I mean everybody, the most important thing that all of us need to do is to become aware of what it is we truly want. And that sometimes people have to figure that out. When you understand what it is you truly want, then you must go after it regardless of how difficult or frightening or impossible it is. That is your job. If you don't do that, you will suffer. Now, let's say the universe is working against you. Let's say that what you said is true, that you're trying, whatever that means, but the universe is working against you. In that case, what is happening is that you are not acting fearlessly towards what you want. Remember, I'm not talking about feelings here. Feelings are just feelings. They do not play into this equation. The universe, the life force energy that surrounds you, the universe responds to your fearless action towards your joy. When you act in fear, the universe responds in ways that you perceive to be either punishment or abandonment. So when you say the universe isn't corresponding, assuming that you know what you want and you're taking action towards it, then what is happening is that you are taking fearful action. Like wanting to win the lottery is an act of fear. Every time one of those people goes to the liquor store and buys a lottery ticket, they are sending a message to the universe that they don't trust the universe to take care of them, that they don't feel that they can achieve what they want, and that they don't have any value, and they must become basically, like what are those, on the universal welfare. I mean, the lottery is like welfare. People want to win the universe giving them money. Here's something about the lottery, by the way. All you have to do is look at the statistics. The vast majority of people who win the lottery end up not only broke years later, but in debt, which tells you they really unconsciously don't want the money. They're poor for a reason. Okay, so I hope I answered all the possibilities of your question. Engatir. Okay, that's not a question. I'm only interested in your questions. So I already responded to you, Ricardo Stone. Your comment didn't go up because you cussed, and YouTube automatically will hide things it sees as being potentially, whatever. George Ottaway, question. Okay, I don't see the question. You're telling me something. When I need to achieve something, I usually say to myself, don't think about it, just do it, and then I take action. Do you think that's beneficial? You tell me, does that sound like what I've been saying? Steve Borowski, question. Now he's gonna talk to me about Vedic astrology. So anybody's interested in a Vedic astrological reading, you can go up here to courses.thunderwizard.com and you can click on astrology, or you can just go to astrology.thunderwizard.com. Question. I discovered my Aruda Lugna is 4th house Aquarius with Mars and Venus. Does this mean success will be from portraying myself as a hippie dad homemaker? I was disappointed. What to do? All right. Well, that's a pretty specific Aruda. For those of you who don't know, the Aruda Lugna, the short answer to that is that it is your reflection. You need to understand this as well. You think that people see you for who you truly are. They don't. They see your reflection. Your reflection is something that you have unconsciously mastered. It is a talent that you have. You may or may not be aware of it. And this is why it's good to get a Vedic astrological reading from me, because I'll tell you what your reflection is. When you portray yourself as your reflection, people want to give you money, hire you, be your friend. It is, in my experience, you know, it's been uh, the single most powerful tool that I've used for my business. And so what it means is that I portray myself as, in my chart, it tells me what my reflection is. My reflection is the spiritual warrior, the warrior of balance, the warrior who speaks the truth and forcefully to create balance. So this is my costume. This is what I do. So he's talking about his Aruda. So the Aruda is fourth house Aquarius with Mars and Venus. Right. So Mars and Venus is makes for a very sexual. I mean, I'd have to see what the nakshatras underneath it are, but Mars and Venus is a very sexual vibe. In the fourth house, the fourth house is home, so you're right about that. It's the mother, it's nurturing. And Aquarius, you're right about that. The closest thing to a hippie is Aquarius. Aquarius is, that's why that song, and maybe if you're old enough to remember, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. That song came out in the 60s and 70s somewhere because that was the vibe, man. And the Aquarian vibe is equality for everybody. Everybody is their own guru, and yet we work together cooperatively, and there's no rules and free love, and all of that comes out of the Aquarian mindset. So, yes, that means that whatever it is that you're doing for a living, you need to project yourself. You need to dress and act as though you are this sexy, sensual, passionate, homebody hippie, whatever that means for you. So I would do some research on that and then create a costume and start acting that way and presenting yourself that way. And people will start hiring you and giving you money and wanting to be your friend. The best thing about the Aruda is that even if it's something like yours is actually pretty cool, there's really nothing wrong with that. Everything that I just described sounds like a pretty cool person. You may personally not relate to it, but that we can all agree that sounds like a pretty cool guy. But somebody's Aruda might be, Rahu in the eighth house in Scorpio, which would be like the black magician ninja. That could be really like dark and scary. Now, normally for those of us that if we try to act dark and scary, it's not a good thing. But if that's your Aruda, then people want to see you that way and they will applaud you for it and go, I love that about that guy. That guy's such a character, but I love that about him. So you got to learn to love what your Aruda is. Source code. How do we work with Saturn without effing up? So please write the word question so I know you're asking a question. So, I mean, I don't know why you're asking this question because why do you need to work with Saturn? I don't understand what you're asking me. Are you, why aren't you working with Jupiter or the moon? Or, why do you have to work with Saturn? And what is the assumption that if you work with Saturn, you're going to F up? I don't understand what that means. Are you talking magic? See, this is why if you're going to ask a question, please write the word question and write out the question. I mean, put some time and effort into putting the subject and the object and the verb and explaining to me why you're writing the question. Because I don't even know why you're asking that. I'm more interested in why you're asking it than what the answer it is you think you want from me. There's one guy that asked me a question a couple days ago, and I didn't give him the answer he wanted. And it's because my job, I'm not here to just answer any question that you throw at me. My job is to help you. And if your question isn't helpful to you, I'm going to tell you that. Your question's a waste of time. I don't know if your question's a waste of time or not, source code. You have to give me more information. Gert Van Zyl asked a question and then retracted it, so I can't answer that. All right, we'll take a short. Let me share something with you about energy. So if you go up here to neo.thunderwizard.com, it's a 4-step process. In my experience, these are the 4 things that you need to be successful. These will do. If you do these 4 steps in neo.thunderwizard.com, it will reprogram your unconscious mind. It will empower you to know how to use your subconscious mind to intend your reality. And it will give you the ability to know how to turn the switches on and off, which will make the universe respond to you regardless of your feelings, so that you can command the universe to create your perfect life. So go to neo.thunderwizard.com for that. Step 2 is about energy. And so I'm going to share with you a little bit about what this energy is. This is the energy, this is the most powerful energy work I've ever come across. The clip I'm going to show you is 10 years old. And by the time that I've been doing that energy work for 20 years, I think. And it is still the most powerful energy work that I've ever known in my life. And it's the most powerful energy work that I can teach people over video. You know, to teach you anything higher than that, I'd have to do it in person to make sure that you didn't blow a circuit. So take a look at that, and then if you have any more questions, I'll answer them. Hi, I'm Michael Denny of SpiritTao.com, and this is Celestial Negung Part 1. Celestial Negung means that this is power that is descending from heaven. And the idea is that we are all microcosms of the entire universe. You are the entire universe, and everything around you is simply the projection. You are looking within yourself. So when you look up into the stars at night, you're actually looking deep within your own body. When you look at the sun, the moon, the trees, the flowers, you're looking within yourself. This is Negung. And so what we're doing is we're simply releasing that infinity from within us. You are tapping into and releasing the power that is within our own body, our own cells, our own organs. So one of the reasons that I'm making this DVD is in the hope that the essence and the spirit of the teaching of the Shang-Ching arts can be taught to the world at large, and it is my hope that the core essence of what the Shang-Ching tradition is will continue to live and grow and evolve. As we move on into the Aquarian age, everything is changing. I don't need to tell you that. The entire world is changing, and what we are seeing now is that if people hold on to external things, they are very challenged in life. And those who are making the transition into the next phase that we are moving into in the world as we approach 2012, those who look within and find their source of strength from within, those are the people who are getting the most out of life and will make the transition into the next phase of evolution most comfortably. It is my belief that the Shang-Ching tradition is one method whereby human beings can evolve into the next level of being in the most comfortable fashion and be able to take advantage of the rapid, energetic, mental, and spiritual changes that are going on in the world today. All right, so we're back now. Let's take a look and see what questions there are. Ghost in the Machine, question. What costume pursuits should I consider for my Aruda Lagna third house in Sagittarius with Moon? All right, so Moon in the third house. Um, this is, you have a very vibrant mind. So the Moon is in the house of the natural house of the intellect, which is the third sign, which is Gemini. So this makes your Moon go all over the place. So you're very creative, and your Moon acts like your intellect. You get bored. You need constant stimulation. You may have ADHD. um, it's in Sagittarius, which is the sign of Jupiter, the priest. So that brings a very spiritual light onto your mind. But the Moon is in the third house, which is communication. So you communicate spiritual topics, and you need to communicate them on a regular basis, whether that's through writing or whether that's verbally. You also may have healing power in your hands. So if you wanted to become a masseuse or a Reiki master or whatever, this is a good placement for that. So what costume should you wear? You know, that's not my Aruda, so I don't know. Third house Moon. Moon is in intuition. Third house Moon is creativity, healing, uh, spirituality. Any of these things, the Moon and Jupiter together make for a very spiritual healing sign. So this is where your intuition has to come in. So you put together your costume and present yourself that way. All right, RCHP, I think that's supposed to be ashtray. Please write the word question. I know you've been on here before. Write the word question, because otherwise I'll miss it. What is the connection between Loki and Jormungandr in context to the destruction of the universe in the mythos? What do you want me to say? I mean, the myth is pretty clear. Loki leads the army of the giants to destroy the world. Loki is the agent of transformation. Loki is actually the most beneficial being in the universe, because without him we wouldn't transform. We wouldn't evolve to our higher level. So he knows that. So he brings that bitter medicine and brings that destruction for us. Jormungandr is limitation. So Jormungandr, without limitation, we wouldn't accomplish anything either. So again, I'm not really quite sure what you want me to say about that. I think the myth is pretty clear. Kailash, son of God, asks, people say the earth is flat. Is this true? No, it's not true. My dad was an astrophysicist, so I know firsthand. A lot of people are talking about the earth is flat and all this other stuff. All of them are uneducated. They're not scientists. They haven't done any scientific experimentation. They don't know anything about that. The people who say the world is flat will have a conspiratorial agenda. So understand that when somebody has an agenda, it means that they want their thing to overcome whatever's in front of it, regardless of whether it's true or not. And a lot of these people have a religious agenda. So they want you to believe in Jehovah and believe that Jehovah is running. A lot of them and a lot of them don't even know what the hell they believe. They just are people who feel that they have been victimized. And so they want to project this feeling of victimization in their beliefs. So they come up with this belief that you've been lied to, that every single picture and every single video and every single film that's been taken from outer space was all done somewhere in Hollywood. Every single one of them. And that every single person, scientist who's working in all over the world, looking out through telescopes, and all the people who have been doing space science for decades now. Every single one of them is lying. Now, what's the reality of that? And then they'll tell you that, and then I say, well, where's the money in that? There's nothing to be gained for them to lie about it because there's no money in it. It costs money to run these programs. So lying, they're spending billions of dollars for what? Doesn't get them anything. But the bottom line is, my dad designed satellites. There was a point where he was the man who had designed more satellites than any one man in the world. You can see his satellites in the Smithsonian. It doesn't have his name on it, but his satellites are there in the Smithsonian during the space race in the 60s and 70s. My dad was doing that. He went off to work every day. He'd come home. He'd come back with pictures from pictures of what the satellite was doing and all that. I grew up with that, so I know for a fact that the world is not flat. And if you're going to tell me otherwise, then you're going to have to tell me that my dad lied to me my whole life, and I just don't believe that. All right, what else? Femme Blue question: how should I present myself and act as a person with Virgo Aruta? I have a Scorpio rising and sun. I don't know where your sun is. Is sun in your rising sign? I feel more comfortable just being my Scorpio self. Well, of course you do. How do you present yourself with a Virgo Aruta? I don't know what house it's in. I don't know what's aspecting it. But just from that, Virgo is the internal aspect of Mercury, which is the scholar healer. So the Virgo, Gemini is the professor who sits in the class and expounds whatever, or the poet. And Virgo is the scholar in the library looking up the exact herbs necessary for healing. Very precise. Virgo is very critical. So dress like a tight ass, a librarian. But again, I would need to know all the other stuff to know exactly what else is in it. But basically just, Virgos are tight ass, critical, but very smart people. So dress like that. Very sharp dresser, but not flamboyant. Very reserved, but underneath that reserved, everything is in its proper place, and the color scheme and everything. Virgos are actually still very sexy, but they are very subdued about it and very humble about it. Once they let themselves out, they're all over the place. They're so smart, critical, perfectionist, and brilliant scholar. Chris Argianega, what does becoming an immortal mean? That's a whole other thing. Go to courses.thunderwizard.com, and I have a page on there about becoming an immortal. It's a big subject, and I don't have the energy to go into it right now. So go to that link and look at that. Again, if you can ask questions about what I'm talking about tonight, you'll get a better answer from me. Because I'm not, I'm not, what do you call that? I'm not a jukebox. In case you're too young to know what that is, that's where you put a nickel in and you push a button and you get a song. I'm not a vending machine. I respond better when I know you're listening to what I teach and you want to ask questions about what I'm teaching, not just showing up and throwing things out because you know what I mean? It shows maturity and it shows respect when you can keep yourself focused on what we're talking about or on what I teach. Steve Borowski question: I'm worried about feeling like a predator by taking on my Aruda. I don't feel too much like a hippie. My ascendant is Saturn. Well, there you go. Saturn and Ketu in Scorpio. Well, there you go. But I'll take it a quest. I'll manage. So that's not a question. What's your question for me? You kind of answered it. Yeah, you've got anal retentive Saturn up there, and you've got Mars and Venus, which is just no holds barred, hippie time sex hour. So of course you're going to feel uncomfortable. But that's the whole point of the Aruda, is that you have to get over your own ego. Everybody wants to go and present themselves how they feel comfortable. But do you want to be successful, or do you want to try and convince people who you really are? Because they see you that way anyway. And, listen, this is not something I do very comfortably. I grew up and I was bullied as a kid. I was a little kid and I was bullied a lot. And so I don't like bullies. I don't like people that puff their chest out and act all tough. And I don't like that. But for me to be successful, I have to let my warrior out. I have to, show my arms and wear the spiritual thing and shave my head. I have to do that if I want to be successful. And if I have to feel uncomfortable and embarrassed, that's just my ego. So you got to get over yourself. If you want to be successful, you got to get over yourself. Ironically, in my case, I have to act like I'm something special. You have to act like, Mars and Venus and Aquarius. It's up to you. Chris Arzianega question: should I fight sleep paralysis? How can you fight sleep paralysis? How does one do that? The whole definition of sleep paralysis is that you can't move. I feel it's sucking me in even when I haven't gone to sleep, and it's scary. It wakes me up after it's over. I dislike it. So, I've had that. Whatever physical things are going on with you, you may have some spiritual things that need to be dealt with. So, Chris Arcianega, are you doing celestial qigong? Because that will resolve that. Okay, so you've got some fear in there, and you need to work through that energetically. So you need to do something more than try and fight it. All right. No other questions? No other questions? Because if you don't ask me questions, I'm going to sell you stuff. Right now, for the month of May, we have a special going on. For the month of May, you can get 2 certifications for the price of 1. So I will teach you my very specific Vedic astrological course, and you will have an opportunity to test to become one of my certified astrologers, which means that I'll put you on the website, and you can start your own Thunder astrology business. You can also do the same for rune readings. And so if you want to get an astrology certification and a rune certification for the month of May only, it'll get half off. Now, I've got a couple of people, and by the way, the website is 241.thunderwizard.com. If you want to find out what all that stuff is about, go to 241.thunderwizard.com and you can see what those certifications are. I've had 2 people contact me. Both of them have one of the certifications that they bought who knows how long ago. And each one of them said, "Can I get in on this?" Like, they're going to come in, a year or X amount of months later, and they're going to get a free certification. I mean, think about that. That doesn't work like that, guys. I'm doing this sale because I'm wanting to bring in more money for myself for my upcoming trip. So if I were to give somebody who had 1 certification, because now they paid for 1, I should give them the second one for free. That means I have to track down everybody who's bought a certification, and I'd have to give them a free certification. Or worse yet, I'd have to track down everybody who's bought 2 certifications, and I'd have to pay them money. I'm not going to do that. So this isn't a retroactive thing. I'm sorry. This is only for people who have not had either certification. It's an opportunity for you. If you've been waiting, you want to do both, and you've been saving up, now you can do it. And then it'll bring some money in for me, which will help me on my upcoming trip. But no, it's not a retroactive thing. I guess I laugh because people are so, human beings, and I'm not laughing just at you. We're all the same. I would be the same way. We get so wrapped up in ourselves, we forget. We're so narcissistic, we forget. Um, that the effects that things have. No, I'd be in debt really quickly if I started doing something like that. So no, this is only for people who don't have not yet had a certification. It's an opportunity to get both. All right, I'll see if there are any more questions. Maybe we've come to an end for the night. No, I don't see any more questions. All right then. So I will call it an evening. I've given out everything. Go up, first subscribe, hit the bell button. Courses.thunderwizard.com. I put that there for a reason. Please go there. I got another email today from somebody asking me, how much is a rune reading? So obviously that person had not gone to that link and put the effort to look for it. All of the things all of my services, my books, my videos, my DVDs, my video teachings, my services I give, rune readings, astrology readings, whatever other consultations, you're going to find it here at courses.thunderwizard.com. If you are serious about learning how to intend, if you're really serious about it and you're not just wanting to talk about it, listen, there's a lot of people, and I would say maybe more than half of the people all over the world who talk about wanting to be successful and complain about. Those people don't realize it, but they want to be failures. And I'll tell you something about being a failure. It takes work. It takes more work to be a failure than it does to be a success. And that's not your fault. You've been programmed to work hard to be a failure. And so when somebody looks at investing in themselves, like to do neo.thunderwizard.com is a small investment. Monetarily, it's a small investment, and energetically, you're going to have to put some effort into learning and practicing what I teach. That's an investment in yourself. And that, takes time and effort and discipline. But if you realized how much energy you put into whatever it is that you have, if you're miserable, if you're sick, you don't realize that you are every moment of every day investing in that. Now, you may not know how you're doing it. You may have been programmed to do it, and it's happening, unconsciously, just, like a flip is switched, and you don't realize you're doing it, but you are doing it. So, I'll give a scenario here. I was talking with a friend of mine, and she's in this really nasty setup where she's living with people. I won't get into the specifics, but she's living with people, and her situation is really quite uncomfortable for her. She's been living there for years, and she complains about it. But she's afraid to leave because she is emotionally really connected to them and psychologically wants their approval and all of that, and she's somebody that doesn't like to fight. So, if it involves a fight, she'll just give up and just acquiesce to whatever somebody wants just to avoid the fight. And she was she was like tearing up, and she was very sad, about how miserable this is making her. And so all of us, said to her, listen, you got to get out. Go get your own place and go do this. And I even said, I'll go with you. Imagine me showing up and standing in between her and, the guy that wants her to stay. I'll stand in between you, and I'll make sure that you can get your stuff and nobody will stop you. That's that would cost you money if you wanted to ask me to be a bodyguard and do that. I'll do that. And trust me, you will get out of there, and that person will not stop you. But she wasn't willing to do that. And she would, when asked, why don't you just leave? She would say, it's just too painful. And I said to her, well, let's examine that. So it's painful for you when you stay there, right? She says, yes, it's very painful. It's going to be painful for you to leave, right? She says, yes, it would be very scary and painful. I said, so it seems to me no matter what you do, it's going to be painful, right? So why not do the one thing that is painful that's going to ultimately give you what you want. Instead of doing nothing, which is choosing to do the thing that's all that you've always been doing. It's still painful. It's going to be painful no matter what you do. If paying money for something that you want is painful, so what? It's painful not having money and not having success and not having whatever health, whatever it is that you want. Either way, you're in pain. So just embrace the one that's going to give you what you want. You know, I get all these emails from people saying, I really want to take your courses, but, you know, whatever the laundry list of excuses why they can't do it or why they don't have the money, just do it. I mean, just, you know, if for me, this is how I look at it. If I want something, I don't let anything stop me, even if it's impossible. Because I refuse not to be happy. I refuse. I refuse to be unhappy. I refuse to be unhealthy. I refuse. I won't do it. And I'm willing to, you know, if no matter how impossible it is, I'll go do it. And I'm not trying to boast about myself. I'm no different than you. I don't have any qualities or strengths that you don't have. If I can do it, you can do it. You don't believe me? Go onto my channel and look at my first video. You can click on it to see oldest and newest. Go see my first video that I put up about 10 years ago. You'll see how unhappy, you can look in my eyes and you'll see how unhappy I am. Look at those videos, you'll see how out of shape I am, how unhappy I am. Trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. There's something that you want, just go get it. Stop complaining and just do it. You know, you're the one that's blocking you from what you want. Now, whatever that is, whether it's my courses or asking that girl out or whatever the hell it is, just go do it. All right. One last question here. Ananka Anjong. Thunder Horse 09. Question. Hi, good day. What time is it over there? It is 10:47 p.m. on Sunday. So I don't know where you are. You say good day. You may be from Australia. So for you, I think it's Monday, like 12 hours earlier or something. Something like that. So I'm still on Sunday night. You're in Monday afternoon or evening. Rita Mark, Q. Does that mean question? You couldn't write out the whole word question? Q. While I was tipping my Q, you answered. It's like you're reading my mind, I think. Thank you. I would like to learn about shamanism. Okay, well, go on to my channel. Here's my last thing. I'll shut up with this. Learn how to search within somebody's YouTube channel. This is for everybody. And if you're on a desktop, there's a way to do it next to the name, like thunderwizard.com, thunderwizard, D-O-T-C-O-N. If you're on my YouTube channel page, there's a little magnifying glass. You click on that, a search bar will come up. Type in whatever keywords you want, and then you can binge watch my channel. I've got now 550 videos on there. So there's no shortage of videos on there. If you want to learn about shamanism, like if you want me to teach you shamanism from A to Z, then go to thunderwizard.com. Go to thunderwizard.com, and even if you start at the lowest level of subscription, you will get hundreds and hundreds of videos that will teach you shamanism from A to Z. Okay? If you want to learn how to manifest, you can click on Manifestation Mastery course and you can take that. But if you just want to learn shamanism, go to thundershamanism.com and subscribe at the lowest level, and then you will be given access to I would charge thousands of dollars. If that was a course, I would charge thousands of dollars for people to have access to that course. You can have it for a very small pittance of a subscription for as long as you want. All right, there it is, my friends. That's all the time that I'm going to put into this tonight. Wish me luck as I continue to get ready for my big move. And I will see you guys very soon. I'm sure you'll see more videos from me over the week. All right. Have a great evening or afternoon, depending on